and Volume 2 will focus on their current state from the mid-2000s onwards, meaning we're going to have to wait another 14 years for Roswell attraction in game because stonks. But for the time being, I digress. Well. Looks like I've been proven wrong. Absolutely shocking! Volume 2 of the Class 455 Enhancement Pack is already out, which has been the only time so far that 2 volumes were released back to back by the one and only Armchair Wheelbarrow. Yes, never mind the fact it took 11 months for both 319 volumes to release, over a year for both 37 volumes to come out, and still expecting. But 2 bloody weeks! Oh, this really screams out perfect consistency, doesn't it? But now that Volume 2 has been released, what is the total price? Ooh, that seemed about right. Now then, let's see if this new volume is worth it in possibly the shortest trade sim review I've made since the Metline video. Because I'm definitely not pissed that I could have reviewed both volumes in one video if only I knew this was happening. Just like I did with... let's not go there. Gary, don't bother on the intro. Okay, good. Gary! So, what are the differences of main features in this new volume? As I rightly predicted, this, that, and this. That is literally it. Obviously, not as much as you would have expected, as this volume focuses on their current state. But guess what? There's already something missing. As you know, the newer Southwest Trains delivery has been included. But where in Lord bloody helling fecking earth is this? Are you seriously telling me that you couldn't have gone your way to simply repaint the front to black? Like, I really don't get how you could actually miss that off. It's fine though. As always, just let us finish your mistakes, you absolute plum. But wait, there's more. So, once again, anyone that buys this who hasn't bought the 315 will automatically be rewarded a free carriage for the Dash 7 variant, which unfortunately has a half-assed complete interior. Because why not just make the NSE maquette look red instead of taking time to recreate what it actually looks like? Or if that's not possible, then maybe make the maquette look more convincing? Plus, don't worry, there's still totally nothing wrong about that thing. Southwestern Railway services to Shenfield win. On the other hand, at least they added those flowers that were repainted onto a few units when the Vosler retractioning took place. But hang on, if that's there, along with the AC sounds, then... See, this is why I really think this could have been saved for an EMU pack, because if it's not possible to remodel the underframe equipment, then it would have been simply if they just remodeled the entire train. I mean, I understand if it wasn't possible, but it just doesn't look right. Moving on to the inside, once again, the same southern cab is used in each subclass, which for southwestern units in this period is wrong. I know I keep mentioning a new cab, but come on, it needs one. To make up for it though, there is indeed a functional GSMR, which is nice. But do we get a new passenger view this time? Okay. Yeah, there isn't that much to do with this train, which is a shame. I wish there was, but it seems AP took the lazy route once again, as per usual. Anyway, moving on to the sounds. First thing to mention, AP actually updated the camshaft sounds of the DC variant so that it features, you guessed it, parallel to Wakefield sounds. Although a tad too quiet. Brilliant stuff. No clue how that happened soon after I mentioned it in my last video. But who knows? Maybe Richard secretly watched my last video. If that was the case, then hello mate, take a seat because it's about to get real swifty in here as we take a listen to those fantastic Vosler motors. A sound I've always wanted to properly hear in train sim. Let's see if he got this right. Gary, take proceedings! No, Gary, wrong way, mate! God damn it. Okay, I'll be honest and say that the recreation of the motor sounds aren't bad and a lot better than I expected. But it's too quiet. Firstly, the initial whine sounds are a bit off in terms of pitch. But have you not heard these things in real life? I can literally hear the motor roaring from a mile away. Yet in game, you can barely hear anything. The sounds at speed are even less audible than the DC ones, which shouldn't be the case. In fact, let me just prove my point a bit more with a clip of one departing. Well, that's embarrassing. Also, what is their problem with cutting dynamic braking sounds off too early? You see, AP claim in their Vol.2 manual that the dynamic brake cuts out at around 7 miles per hour, which is wrong, because reality check. Get your facts right, son. However, you haven't heard the worst part, because I bet you're wondering what happens when you attach an AC and DC unit together. And the answer is a lot of weird fecking shit. First of all, if you attach an AC unit to the back of a DC unit, then for some reason it turns into a camshaft, and you can't hear any regen. Whereas if you do vice versa, the DC unit becomes not a camshaft. How that got past testing intrigues me, because now the only way to listen to both AC and DC sounds without any issue is by planting down an AI train. That brings me on to another point, the physics. The camshaft ones are okay, but I'm not too sure about the AC acceleration rate, as the train literally drags unless you go straight into notch 4. Not sure if that happens in real life, but if any of you know, then be sure to correct me in the comments. Right then. Now that I think I've gone through everything, it's time to find out what I really think of this enhancement pack overall. And you know, I really wanted to enjoy this pack, but if I'm honest, it kind of sucks. First of all, the fact this had to be in 2 volumes frustrates me, as this was basically a smart way of charging us under 20 quid for both versions altogether, which is a rip-off. And secondly, there's nothing to do in this train because of the limited features. I mean, driving it almost feels similar to driving the Pips, because, you know, no interior, which was something else I really wanted. Why couldn't George just model one? He modeled the original front, but just so much potential thrown away. On another note, I do enjoy most of the sounds in this pack, especially the camshaft and sort of the Vosler motors, but they need to learn how to not make such sounds so quiet. Plus, they need to work on their bloody scripts. However, if that's a training limitation, then I will greatly forgive you. I regret saying that. They had one job to provide us with the ultimate experience, yet they flopped once again. It's an alright enhancement and all, but like I mentioned earlier, could have had so much more potential. In comparison to the 377 enhancement pack, the 455 is better in the sound department, but worse in terms of the features. So take your pick. What do you think of this pack overall? Do you enjoy it? And do you think it's better than the Electro Star? Be sure to leave your opinions down below. And remember, default responses are completely forbidden and invalid. No, I'm genuinely being serious. In the meantime, it's time to sit back and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, the train now standing in platform 4 is the first ever South Western Railway express service to Glasgow Central, calling at Glasgow Central only. This train is formed of 2 coaches and is due to depart shortly. Once again, this is your South Western Railway service to Glasgow Central. Yes, this is the SWR Control Centre. How can we help, old chap? Hello, darling. There appears to be a problem with the train. Indeed, what appears to be the issue, dear sir? We've lost power. Yes, and? Well, I don't think a third-rail train is permitted on overhead routes. No, dear, it's fine. We've tested all the trains, and the motors blew off all of them. Surely that's not a good thing. I think we're stranded. Did you get to Glasgow in 5 minutes? We haven't passed Watford Junction yet. Well, I'm afraid, sir, that you've been banished from the Gentleman's Clerk Club. Good day. No.
Well, I guess I'll just have to feed and whip the line a bit more then. Cheers for that.